Coming up, we have the latest David Letterman's preparation for his last show and find out how much a Pope's iPad goes for on auction. Stay tuned.
Check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Welcome to the National Rundown. I'm Paul Hudrick.
And I'm Tatiana Polnitz.
On Wednesday, April 15th, the court in Massachusetts came to a decision in the murder trial of former New England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez. He was sentenced to life without possibility of parole for murdering his friend Odin Lloyd in 2013. 25-year-old Hernandez appeared to shake his head during the announcement of the verdict. He was also found guilty for unlawful possession of a firearm and unlawful possession of ammunition.
3 Rowan University EMT students received the National Recognized Meritorious Service Award last week after responding to a call from the Rowan Wellness Center about a student who had stabbed himself with a katana. The student had been slicing fruit with the sword when he accidentally stabbed himself. Chief of Rowan EMS, Vernon Howery, said if the EMTs had arrived any later, the student may have died.
Third-grade teacher Marilyn Zuniga, who was suspended for having her students write get-well letters to a former death row inmate, speaks for the first time at the Orange Preparatory Academy board meeting. Many people came to the meeting to show their support for Zuniga. She believes that given her background, this is not a reason for her to be terminated.
A dash cam video shows an Arizona officer intentionally running over a suspect to stop him. The video sparked the debate about what type of force police should have used to detain the man. Mario Valencia, the 36-year-old suspect, was in critical condition when he was taken to the hospital and released into police custody 2 days later. The president of South Korea vows to raise the Seoul ferry, which sank a year ago, killing 304 people, to mark the anniversary of the disaster. Most of the victims involved in the disaster were high school students, leaving the government under attack for lack of safety standards.
Officials believe that a former Australian model and DJ from Melbourne was killed fighting alongside ISIS. They say Sharky Jama, 25, was most likely killed by gunfire, and that his family did not know that their son joined ISIS, though he did post on social media supporting the terrorist group.
Jodi Arias is sentenced to life in prison without parole. Arias said in court on April 13th that she believed if she received the death penalty, it would bring her, quote, untold peace and freedom, end quote. The case has been going on since 2008, and 2 previous juries were unable to decide if Arias will receive the death penalty. The final decision was left to Judge Sherry Stevens.
Coming up, a look at who will be the final guests on The Late Show with David Letterman and an update on marijuana legalization.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs, just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
The man who landed a gyrocopter on the Capitol lawn has blogged about his intentions before he was arrested on Wednesday. 61-year-old Doug Hughes stated that the reason behind his flight was to spotlight corruption in D.C. and to call attention to issues concerning campaign finance laws or lack thereof. Hughes appeared in court this afternoon on charges of flying in a restricted airspace.
And now we have Brandon Ned with the latest on Star Wars.
The new Star Wars trailer was released today. A fan gathering in Los Angeles featured the cast and a droid. The film is slated to release sometime in December. Supermodel Giselle Bundchen, the wife of NFL star quarterback Tom Brady, will be strutting down the runway one final time. Giselle announced over the weekend that she would be retiring from the catwalk. She has spent the past 20 years in the fashion industry. Late-night talk show host David Letterman is gearing up for his final show with an onslaught of A-list guests scheduled before the last show. Some of the notable guests are Oprah Winfrey, George Clooney, and Bill Murray. Letterman has been a late-night host for 33 years, and that is all for entertainment. Back to you at the desk.
Radar went off when you said Star Wars. Internet hacking is becoming a major problem in America today. Companies are struggling to prevent cyber attacks as hackers get more creative. Nearly 1 million malware threats are released each day, and it takes only 82 seconds to scam someone or steal private files on the internet. Netflix has launched a new audio description feature that has debuted on the new original series Daredevil. The new feature is aimed at providing an illustration for subscribers who are visually impaired. A Netflix spokesman says a narrator will explain the events happening on the screen in moments when they would normally be silent. The feature will soon be optional for most series.
Two recent studies suggest that average persons should exercise for 150 minutes per week. While scientists have said that this is the minimum dose of exercise, they are unsure of what the safe upper limit of exercise is. According to the studies, those who have met the recommended exercise minutes per week have a 31% less risk of dying during a 14-year period. And now we have Bianca to discuss marijuana legalization. Hi, Bianca. How are you?
Thanks for joining us.
How are you guys?
Good.
That's good. So tell us what you have, the information on the legalization of marijuana.
Well, basically, in 2014, legal marijuana was a $700 million industry in Colorado and was built the fastest growing industry in the United States. According to a 2014 Gallup poll, 51% of the Americans favor the legalization of marijuana.
In how many states is marijuana actually legalized already?
Well, you have the recreational one, and then you have the medical one. So the recreational one is legal in 4 states in Washington, D.C., and then the medical marijuana is legal in 19 states.
All right. What makes it hard to get marijuana legalized in the state?
Because it's one of the tightest controlled substances under federal law. So many argue that there's no medical value to it at all. That makes it harder as well. And then it is seen to be equal to heroin and LSD.
So how can medical marijuana actually have a positive impact?
Well, basically, a lot of patients that are using it right now, they said they had a better appetite. They were able to control their pain better, and then also the side effects are way less than they have with their regular medications.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Good stuff, yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
3 thieves are currently on the run in Paris after stealing a handbag containing 5 million euros worth of jewels. The owner of the bag, a Taiwanese art collector, was stuck in traffic when his window was smashed and the bag was stolen from him. Officials are not sure if the victim was targeted or if it was a random attack.
The European Union's antitrust chief accuses Google of abusing its dominance in web searches. This is the first time that antitrust charges have been brought against Google, and it will result in an investigation. If the concerns are confirmed, Google will face legal consequences and ultimately have to change the way it does business in Europe.
Let's take it over to Nina Contento with our World News Minute.
ISIS is continuing to make headlines all over the world. Families are fleeing on foot into the city, and one man described how ISIS fighters even commandeered his home. ISIS blocked off access from east and south. According to Iraqi officials, roughly 150,000 have fled their homes. 65 and pregnant? No, this is not an MTV spin-off show. Not only is Annegret Kramnik of Berlin, Germany pregnant, but she is pregnant with quadruplets. The mother of 13 and grandmother of 7 used artificial insemination to get pregnant and is due this summer. Her decision came from her 9-year-old daughter saying she wanted a younger sibling. A Russian TV channel aired Hillary Clinton's campaign video that features a gay couple holding hands, with a rating stamp that means that it is for mature audiences. The channel told CNN that they didn't want to break the controversial law passed in 2013, which bans propaganda of non-traditional sexual relations around minors. In the same year, the former First Lady declared her support for same-sex marriage. That's all for our World News Minute. Back to you at the desk.
And now we have Amber Gambardella with her truth on fracking.
Hydraulic fracturing, better known as fracking, which is the process of extracting natural gas by injecting highly pressurized water and fluid into the ground to break shale, is an extremely dangerous practice, not only for the environment but for our health. Every day we see billboards, commercials, advertisements in magazines, all paid for by big corporations who shamelessly promote this practice, claiming that it is clean and green despite higher rates of cancer, nerve disorders, chronic headaches, and nosebleeds suffered by those around drill sites. Never mind that people have had to evacuate their homes, unable to shower or use their sink because their water is so contaminated from the fluid pumped into the ground, fluid that has over 200 dangerous chemicals. 25 plus states still partake in this practice to make a quick buck. We have to stop fracking until safer methods are discovered to protect not only our land, but our health. April Gambardella, in my opinion.
The White House announces that President Obama plans to take Cuba off the American government's list of nations that sponsor terrorism. President Raul Castro of Cuba stated that the two nations plan to move toward normal relations. Cuba will not come off the list until after a 45-day review period. The latest on U.S. nuclear negotiations with Iran, President Obama's efforts to act without Congress getting in the way were set back after his abrupt decision to sign the compromise legislation on Iran that he previously vowed to veto. The White House has said that the bipartisan bill was less disagreeable than the initial draft. The Senate approved a bill that just passed this Tuesday that changes the way Medicare pays physicians. The 21% cut in doctors' Medicare fees took effect yesterday, and the bill also provides billions of extra dollars for health care programs for children and low-income families. Both President Obama and Republican congressional leaders praised the bill.
And now we have Robert with the latest sports news.
The Aaron Hernandez trial is finally over, but what the New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft said about his former tight end made the jury comfortable in convicting Hernandez of first-degree murder in the 2013 shooting death of Odin Lloyd. Kraft testified that Hernandez told him that he had nothing to do with the death of Odin Lloyd and that Hernandez was in the club at the time of Lloyd's death. One problem, though, it was never determined when Lloyd died. Jurors wouldn't go on into detail about their deliberation, but it was clear Kraft's testimony made an impact. 23 words. That was all the Minnesota Vikings had to offer on Tuesday in a statement responding to the news that Adrian Peterson, for the first time in 7 months, would be permitted to rejoin their team. It reads, quote, "The Minnesota Vikings have been informed by the NFL that Adrian Peterson has been reinstated. We look forward to Adrian rejoining the Vikings." 2015 NFL playoffs started last night. The New York Islanders defeated Washington Capitals 4-1. Calgary Flames defeated the Vancouver Canucks 2-1. Ottawa Senators fall to the Montreal Canadiens 3-4. And the Blackhawks beat the Nashville Predators 4-3 in a double overtime, surprising after pulling Corey Crawford. Back to you guys at the desk.
Welcome to the Sports Roundtable. I'm Paul Hudrick. Today, I am joined by AJ Lear and Robert Zavalaga. And today we are going to talk about 3 hot topics in the sports world. And we are going to kick it off with the NBA. NBA season just finished, and we have an interesting debate on who will be the MVP this season. Bob, we'll start with you. Who do you think is the MVP?
3 words, fear the beard. My man is killing it in all cylinders, 27.4 points a game, 87% from the free throw. He would have won the scoring title if it wasn't for Russell Westbrook blowing it up. He blew it out of proportion. Durant went down. He put the team on his back. But I got to give it to my man, James Harden. Because if you take away Harden from the Rockets, they're a 7 seed at the best. Take away Curry, they still got that small, young core. And then you take away Westbrook, they still have Durant. So I got to go with Harden.
I think I have to disagree with you. I got to go with Steph Curry, man. He's got 23.8 points a game, 7.7 assists, and 4.3 rebounds a game. And he's got his team at the top of the Western Conference heading into the playoffs. He's hot, and he's ready to win for a title for that Warriors team. And if he took as many shots as Westbrook, he'd have the scoring title just like him. We're going to move on to our next topic, being the NHL playoffs that started last night. And who do you guys see coming out of the East and West Conference?
Well, I really like the New York Rangers. I know President's Trophy winners generally don't have great success as far as the playoffs go, but I think Rick Nash has really found his niche there. 42 goals this year in Alain Vigneault's system after only scoring 26 last year. He's a plus 29 after being only a plus 10 last year. Then, of course, their defense, you got guys like McDonough and Stahl back there, and you have the great King Henrique holding down the net. he's not necessarily a great playoff goalie, but you give me Henrik Lundqvist any day of the week, and I take him on my team.
And for the West, I'm going to take the Chicago Blackhawks. The past 5 seasons, they've gone to the playoffs. 2 of those seasons, they've made it to the quarterfinals. 2 of the other seasons, they won the Stanley Cup. So I'm looking for a 3 times in the past 10 seasons. Taves, Hossa, Sharp, all been there, all done that. Barry Melrose is taking the Blackhawks. I am too.
Oh, taking the trendy pick with the Blackhawks.
Yes.
It's not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick.
Isn't.
So the last thing, what do you got for us, Bob?
From the ice to the gridiron, we're talking about NFL. Who do you guys like in this year's NFL draft, which is April 30th, 8 p.m. is the first round?
AJ, I'll let you go first.
You got to go with one of the quarterbacks. I could take Mariota. I mean, the skill set he brings to NFL teams is just going to be outrageous. His IQ is on point. The only thing is they see his scheme might not be for the pro style, which might be so, but who knows? He has the arm strength, the ability, and IQ, so we don't know if he can run that pro style that everyone says he can't. So I think it's going to be good to see what he does, and whatever team gets it, whether it's the Titans, the Chargers, or even the Eagles, we'll see what happens.
See, I had to disagree with you. I do. Winston goes number 1. I think we can all agree with that. Winston's probably the number 1 quarterback taken off the board. As far as an NFL quarterback, I think Winston has everything you want. He's got great size, great arm, great intelligence at the line of scrimmage. Some of his off-field stuff is obviously very troubling. But compared to Mariota, obviously, Mariota's got a really clean slate. But I think as far as NFL quarterbacks, I think Winston's got the better skill set. Well, that's going to do it for the Sports Roundtable today. I was joined by AJ Lear and Robert Savalia. And my name is Paul Hudrick, and it's back to you at the news desk.
Coming up after the break, we have Taylor with the weather.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
A dating website for married people looking to cheat wants to pursue an IPO in London. AshleyMadison.com is a dating website that charges men to be introduced to women. It reaches out to spouses wanting to have extramarital affairs.
On a completely different end of the spectrum, an old iPad 4, which belonged to Pope Francis, sold for over $30,000 at auction. The iPad was donated to a high school for the poor, and all proceeds will go to the developing the school.
Here's Taylor with an update on the weather.
Thank you. Today was absolutely beautiful. Even though we came under 70 degrees today, it still was really nice out. We're going to have some nice weather coming to you this week, so I'm going to show you the 5-day forecast. Tomorrow we have some scattered thunderstorms. It's going to be really nice out still. We're going to be 70 degrees, but you might not want to go outside because of the rain. Saturday, it's going to be gorgeous. We're going to top off at 77 degrees. It's going to be a great day to be outside. Sunday, we're going to have partly cloudy. It's going to be 61 with a low of 50. And Monday, we're going to have some rain. So I know all of you have some Monday blues. You're going to add some rain to that. Tuesday, it's going to clear up a little bit. We're going to be partly cloudy, and we're going to be with 70 degrees. Now let's take a look at your weather window. As you can see, there is some clouds out there. We've got some blue sky, and the grass is looking pretty green these days. It looks like spring is here, and it's here to stay, Paul. I think that this is very exciting. There's going to be a lot of things happening outside, and I'm really looking forward to the weekend.
Why are we here?
Yeah,
Why are we in
we
here?
should
Let's
just
go
go out and have fun, right? No? Okay, maybe not.
We should, probably. It's beautiful outside. It's another solid
Our
forecast.
weekend's going to be absolutely beautiful. We're going to have 77, a high 77 on Saturday, so I'm looking forward to having some outdoor activity that day.
Beautiful stuff. Thanks, Taylor. Thank you for watching. I'm Paul Hudrick.
And I'm Tatiana Ponitz. Have a great night.